proof, living proof. It's pretty safe to say, God give it, God take it away. It's the worldwide American way. I'm living proof.
What's going on, team? Proof here, and for this video is going to be me just giving you a really good game that I had recently when I was testing out a bad end deck. And not to give too much away, but it was just a really good game, and I was really hyped about how good it was, and I wanted to show you guys just the replay of it. So let's go ahead and hop into it. And it's against Kagero, and my expectation going into it is that it was against Overlord. So against Overlord, what I generally want to do is I want to keep my damage as low as possible for purge skills, so that way he doesn't mess with me too much with them. So I don't want to call anything too much early either until I at least have a damage on me. But he got a heal in his hand. So I call out a Riding Mason, call out Misery here, trying to put some more pressure on just to get some early damage on him. Excuse me. So I call out Death Flag with the hit, get bad in, and then I keep on going with some pressure here. My entire hope was to just keep my damage as low as possible going into purge skills because I don't want that thing to just ruin my entire existence. So he gets some Overlords in his hand, feed his skill. Ride up. I had the decision here to go either into Great Star or into Bad End. And against Overlord at 2 damage, I don't want to go into Bad End, so I figured I could try to recoup some advantage or recoup some advantage here through going through Rising Great Star. Use Agrius here. Get my card draw, get a bind. Use a Death Flag to get another bad end just for some advantage and to get a grade 3 out the deck. I get a nice handy heal here just for my entire purpose of keeping my damage low. So since he used the Nile Griffin, it gave me access to Rising Great Star as GB2, so I could draw another card, which helped me out. So I appreciate that. And he gets rid of my Death Flag here, which is sad, but that's okay. He goes into Goaty, aka Zingenberg. I'm surprised he's playing Spherical Lord here, because I figure all the grade 3s would be Overlord, but it's all good. He gets another heal in his hand. So I'll go into base Guss, the boy. Since I have 2 damage here, I chose to use this Guss to put a heal back and 2 other cards. Put a grade 3 back in case I happen to go into I'll go into Good in here, so I have grade 3s available. And then I guard this one with this Guss, put the other heal back. So now I have 2 heal, all my heals back in the deck, and I have access to a big Picaro turn, which is what I go into here. And the reason I did it this way was to if I bait out, because I think he has 2 Overlords or 2 Flame Dragons. Yeah, he has 2 Flame Dragons. So I'll call out a big board here to filter out 5 non-triggers out of my deck, and if he happened to use Defeat Flare, I'd be okay with it. And then my whole hopes was to get another heal into my hand, which I got. So I'll keep my damage low while setting up for Hellheart 8 in the following turn. I use Bomber here just to get the counter blast back and just to get Bruggert back into the deck for later, and it puts another pressure unit on there for him. Put that away. Use Analyzer to bind Misery, so now I have access to the GB2 again. So unfortunately I hit a draw trigger off the draw, or that doesn't make sense. Unfortunately I drew a draw trigger off the draw. So he's lost 1 heal here, and then he used 1 to get the Nile Griffin going. So as long as I survive this turn, I figured I'd be in pretty good shape for Hellheart 8. Unfortunately he double crits me, but base Lindsay came through. Then I use another Guss here to refill my deck with just stuff that I can call out with Hellheart 8. Mainly I wanted to go with charge units or stuff that could attack over 21k, even though I left the bad end in there. That was a misplay there. I should have put it back in just to have another 21k attacker for later. So he's at 3 damage, and I figured I'd roll the dice and go into Hellheart 8 here. Use Great Star, and then from here I'll call out Fake Bomber just because it gives me the ability to not die to Denial Griffin, 2 Denial Griffins. That's my current best counterplay to Kagero, is to use a Great Star here to call out a Fake Bomber. And I attack into rear guard just so that he can't use Defeat Flare again, just to keep my Fake Bomber around. And I know this says 0, but that's just a CFA visual glitch. I still have plenty of cards left in my deck to be able to use Hellheart 8. So my entire goal was to just spam out 21k attackers as long as I could. And as you can see, he has 1, 2, 3. He has 3 dumb jids in his hand, just for PG or 10k shield purposes, which is annoying. And this is where I wish I had Frog Raider, but this isn't a pure Ryzen deck. Just be able to have that big booster available to me would have been really nice. So I'm trying to navigate my way around his G guards here while trying to effectively attack him. So, and he hit the trigger, which didn't help out my case at all, but he had a decent chance of hitting it, so it's all good. So I just keep throwing out attackers that can attack for 21k plus with Hellheart 8's boost. And I think I could have did my sequencing a little bit better, but I'll get there when I get a chance. Because this is a do or die turn anyway, so if I win, I get the W. If he survives, then I lose. And then I call out Misery here. And then I use the Hellheart 8 skill from Bad End. And here's where I messed up. I should not have used Great Star skill here, because I knew he had only 1 G-Guard left to use, which if he used it on Denial Griffin would have been fine. It would have been better to save that extra card for another front row attacker. So I just gave my opponent a chance to win because I tunnel vision too hard just to try to keep the card safe. But to not get blown out by something that wasn't there. So I just I put myself in a position to choke, which isn't what you want to do. Because here I could have had 2 cards left in my hand with him having a minimal guard. So if he had a 10k shield in his hand, he could have stopped me, and then he could have just gone into his turn here and had 2 attackers. So that was really fun. Overlord is a pain in the butt, but the best way I find a way to get around it is to have a Rising Great Star to get a Charging Fake Bomber, or somehow find a way to get a Charging Fake Bomber on your opponent, because that way if they do have the Griffin, you can easily give the Hellheart 8 skill to your unit in the front row, boost it with Bomber, call out another unit, and then you use the Hellheart 8 skill on the front row attacker to shove it into the soul, call out another unit. Now you have 2 front row attackers again, which can help you get around it. And then if your opponent happens to not have or access to all their Denial Griffins, you can call out a Great Star after the bomber returns back to the deck. No, that wouldn't work. Got ahead of myself. Ignore that last part. But the key to it is just to get around just to get a Charging Fake Bomber, and that'll help a lot of your issues against Kagero with their G-Guard lineup. And the MVP of the game was definitely Hecaton Guss, aka Base Guss, just because he was able to put the heals back into my deck, because he could put up to 3 different grades back to the deck when you use them. So he was able to put the heals back to my deck going into my Picaro turn, where I filtered out a lot of my deck, or 5 cards out of it, to give myself a decent chance to check in the heal trigger, just to keep my damage low against Overlord, just to help keep the purge from not blowing me out as much. And then going into my Hellheart 8 turn, he was able to put back a trigger and a couple potential attackers for me to be able to use, so that way I could put the pressure on my opponent and give myself a good chance, or put myself in a position to win that turn. So without Guss in the deck, my game would have been so much different that I don't know exactly how it would have went down. That's how much of a game changer he is, literally. So shout outs to Base Guss for being such an amazing card. So that'll do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it was easy enough to follow along with my narration in the background and I vacated my thoughts appropriately. And yeah, that'll do it for me. And until next time, peace, be easy.